Welcome to Jimmy Madison's Whiskey Training Program. Section 1 will cover how whiskey is made by taking you through the distillation process step by step. Let's begin. Step 1. Ingredients. Whiskey is made using 3 key ingredients: water, barley, and yeast. There are several different types of whiskey that differ in their ingredients and production. However, the basic distillation process will focus on these 3 basic ingredients. The first process that occurs is called malting. The barley must germinate in order to turn its starches into sugar to later make alcohol. The barley is soaked for 2 to 3 days in warm water and then dried in a kiln. The barley is now referred to as malt and is ground down for the next step. Step 2. Mashing. The ground malt is combined with warm water. It is stirred for several hours, and during this process the sugars dissolve and are drawn out through the bottom of the container. This mixture is now referred to as mash. The new liquid, consisting of the dissolved sugars, is called a wort. Step 3. Fermentation. Next, the wort is cooled down and passed through containers called washbacks. Now the yeast is added to begin the fermentation process. Fermenting the liquid will turn the sugars into alcohol. This fermentation process usually takes 48 hours to complete. At this point, the liquid is very low in alcohol strength, and to become whiskey, it must be distilled. Step 4. Distillation. The amount of times that the liquid is distilled will vary depending on the type of whiskey. More specific information regarding how each type of whiskey is distilled will be covered in Section 2 of the training program. For now, we will focus on the simple distillation process. The mixture is heated in a large still, which causes the alcohol in the liquid to evaporate and turn into vapor. This vapor passes to a smaller still and then is ready to be put into casks to age. Step 5. Storage. The spirit is now entered into casks to be stored. Casks are stored for several years. Length of storage and type of cask varies by the type of whiskey. During this step, the whiskey matures and the spirit combines with natural compounds in the wooden casks. This provides a distinct flavor and aroma for the whiskey. Step 6. Bottling. Now the whiskey has reached its final step and is ready to be bottled and sold. After being removed from the casks, the whiskey is bottled. Glass bottles are used in order to prevent the liquid from reacting or losing its distinct flavor and aroma. This completes the whiskey distillation process. Further resources. Now that you've reached the end of Section 1 of the Whiskey Training Program, there are some additional resources you can use to study for the material before you take the quiz. You can refer to the whiskey distillation infographic that accompanies this presentation for condensed information regarding whiskey distillation, or replay the video as needed. It is important to note that reading the infographic alone will not provide you with all the information needed to do well on the test. Thank you for watching the Section 1 presentation.